So when I come to a client, I make these suggestions. Normally when we do this, it's a tax plan, right? A lot of business owners and high net worth individuals come to us and say, I want to pay less taxes. I just got a call from that physical therapist that I was just telling you about. He's an accounting client. He's like, I have $500,000 in profit right now. It's end of the year. What am I going to do? I need to, figure out a way to lower my tax burden. How much money should I be spending? And I went through it with him. Any vendors that you can pay off, before December 31st, pay them off, right? Any bonuses, anything like that, get that through this year, like anything he could, and we signed them up for the wellness program too. But everybody always comes to us with that mentality. Tax time's coming. I'm going to owe money. What can I do to save? And when they come to us, we build a tax plan. That's a separate service, but it's very informative and it's very worth it. And that's one of the tax implementations that we'll make is the wellness program. AFLAC's another great one, a pre-tax incentive. We'll also, HSAs. HSAs are huge, right? HSAs, health savings account, right? Where you put away money pre-tax, for health reimbursements, for like, say, if you go to CVS, Amazon, all that stuff qualifies as, health savings account where you can get reimbursed. But the caveat is that you could put up to $8,000 in a health savings account that you can end up contributing pre-tax to your paycheck that will lower your wages and help you on the getting taxed at a lesser rate. So these are the type of things that we're looking for in the tax plan along with the wellness plan. And we'll have different providers in each of those fields. Like I have an AFLAC guy, a wellness guy, any other HSA, we'll have a health benefits guy that will come in and assess your needs and pick out the right HSA, or it may not be an HSA. It might be a different health savings account that you may qualify for that might be better, that might give you more better tax benefits. It's that type of things that we're looking for in our partners.
Oh, yeah. It's good to have friends who have friends, especially people that's willing to go through the process in order to make sure that they're helping their customers the best. I'm a registered pre-licensing and continuing education instructor. And one thing that I used to do voluntarily is take the exams again, even pay out of my pocket, just to make sure that I was up to date on how they're asking these questions, if they're changing things. And it made me a better instructor. And it sounds like for you, what makes you a better advisor is actually putting your money where your mouth is and checking it out first before you make your clients look into it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I always come with the mentality, right? Like, especially when you get an accountant. What do you think of an accountant when someone mentions the accountant, right? Like taxes or like an expense, right? I don't want to pay an account, right? I'm not an expense. I'm an investment, right? Plain and simple. Stop looking at me like an expense. I am an investment. I'm here to make you more money than I am charging you right now, right? And like I said before, that's the mentality that I have to bring, and I have to separate myself from your average, H&R Block or, RG and Brenner, Jackson Hewitt. And I'm not associated with any of those. I don't do that type of work. I don't do individual tax returns. I do individual tax returns, but for friends and family. We are strictly working with business owners and, doing accounting and fractional CFO work for these businesses. But in order to separate myself from those CPA shops, I have to bring some value. And my value is that I have to go outside the box of accounting, and find different avenues that can help my clients, other than, saying, cut this expense, like that's all great. And believe me, I find the cracks everywhere, but, the more well-rounded I can be, the more I can serve my clients. And like you said, they have a certain type of trust that I have to earn with them, more so. And that's why I choose who I work with very closely, because they are an extension of me. Right? If you do bad work for this client, that's going to fall back on me and make me look bad. I found through the pandemic, right? And the pandemic changed a lot of things, but one of the things that it did was I found that we made more money working together than against each other, right? Like, because now the pie got so much bigger after COVID, right? When I was working in accounting, all I worked with was New York clients, right? Everything was face to face. You went in for meetings, you know, like you to think of getting a client outside of New York was like crazy. Then all of a sudden COVID opened the doors and the floodgates happened. And now I can work remotely with clients from California, you know, Chicago, Seattle, Florida, you name it. And now all of a sudden my business is just like the reach has just expanded tenfold. And I'm like, this is crazy. And I have more clients now outside of New York than I do in New York, you know, which I would never even think, you know, and I made all those connections through all the different alliances that I made, you know, throughout the pandemic that I connected with, like my wellness providers, right? My health insurance guys, you know, my worker compensation guys. Like, these are all guys that we work together and we feed each other business too at the same time, but we also make sure we add value, you know, for our clients, you know, and I like to be that one-stop hub in my accounting firm, meaning that when you come to me, I'm going to have an insurance guy for you. I'm going to have a workers' compensation. I'm going to have a lawyer for you. I'm going to have a health insurance guy for you. Everything's going to flow through me and the buck's going to stop here. Because the one thing business owners can't stand is their time is very precious to them and it's very limited. So if you can manage that to make their time where they are not dealing with any of that other stuff and they can focus on making money, you have just added your value tenfold. You know, so that's what I do for my business owners is that, like, all right, you need this, you need that, you need X, Y, and Z. Don't worry. You know, I built that trust with you. I've got it. I'll direct you towards the right guys. I'll take care of everything. I'll explain it to you. Just sign on the bottom line and I'll tell you how much money you're saving. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. I will explain it all. But more than likely, they end up, you know, signing with the guy that I recommend.